Hello and welcome to the course of manufacturing method. This is 22nd lecture. In the last lecture, we have talked about chemical fusion welding. Now here in this lecture we will be talking about electrical fusion welding. In the more precisely we will be talking about most widely used electrical fusion welding, that is our arc welding. And in the arc welding part, we are in this lecture we will be studying about non consumable electrode arc welding. All of these terms we will see in this lecture, and we will have a clear idea of all of these terms. So let's start our lecture with lecture objective. So the lecture objective for this lecture is to understand about electrical fusion welding, to know about arc welding, and to get a detailed description of non-consumable electrode arc welding. So let's start our lecture. So electrical fusion welding. In electrical fusion welding, the heat for fusion is given by the electrical power. So heat required for fusion is given by the electrical power. The mostly used electrical fusion welding is arc welding. In arc welding, the required heat for fusion that came from an electric arc, which is generated between electrode tip and the workpiece by AC or DC power supply. What happened when how the arc is generated? When there is two workpiece to be joined. At that time, first what happened, the electrode is touched with the workpiece. By touching the electrode with the workpiece, the circuit of the welding will be completed. By completing the circuit, a voltage drop will be seen in the welding tip. But just after touching the two electrode with the workpiece, we just lift the workpiece and give very small distance. At that distance is known as arc gap. At that arc gap, what happened? At that arc gap, the generation of the electrons and protons flows interchangeably, and there a shielding atmosphere or high temperature atmosphere or arc will be generated. So this arc will be generated by applying AC or DC power supply. And the arc welding can be of two types. First one is consumable electrode arc welding, and second one is non-consumable electrode arc welding. So in case of consumable electrode arc welding, what happen? In case of consumable electrode arc welding, the electrode are used to electrode that are used to generate the arc. That same electrode is used as filler material to the workpiece, to the welding, or to the base materials. So in case of consumable electrode, both the electrode and the filler materials will be provided by the electrode only. So that filler materials will be deposited in the weld joint, and that will be mixed with the base material while the joint is solidified. The example of consumable electrode arc welding is electroslag welding, flux coated arc welding, shielded metal arc welding, gas metal arc welding, or metal inert gas welding, submerged arc welding, and electro gas welding, etc. Now in case of on the other hand, we can say, for the case of non-consumable electrode, that non-consumable electrode do not consume while the operation, and there is an external filler material. The filler materials will be supplied externally if necessary. So in most of the cases, the example in most of the cases, the filler material used in case of non-consumable electrode is supplied by the external material by using some feed rod or feed wire mechanism. So that we will discuss later on. But in case of in this part, that is, in case of non-consumable electrode arc welding, there are several non-consumable type of arc welding. Those are tungsten inert gas welding or gas tungsten arc welding. There is again, and plasma arc welding and atomic hydrogen welding. All these three we will be discussed in detail today only. So now for the arc welding, the arc can be generated by the application of AC or DC power. So DC power supply, while there is DC power supply, in that case two conditions can be achieved. First, DCRP, that is direct current reverse polarity, and in another case there can be direct current straight polarity. That what are the difference, that we are coming a bit later, but first understand there are two DC setup and one is AC setup, and AC power supply will be used for thick section welding. So for thick section welding, AC power supply is used. Now for the DC power supply, when the polarity is straight, that means in case of DCSP or DCEN, that means direct current electrode negative, at that time electrode is negative, that means electrode is taken as cathode and the workpiece is taken as anode or positive, and in that case the welding will give a narrow and deep weld. While for the case of reverse polarity or DCRP or direct current electrode positive or DCEP, electrode is positive or anode and the workpiece is negative or cathode. That gives us low penetration and wide weld width. And this type of the welding, this type of the setup or DCRP setup can be used for sheet metal welding. So this is it. For narrow and deeper welding, DCEN or DCSP is used, and for wider and smaller welding, low penetration and wider welding, DCEP or DCRP is used. And in case of AC welding, the that is used for thick section welding. Now the heat transfer aspect of the arc welding can be given by that the heat input is given by H by L, that is equal to V by I into by V, where H is the heat input in joule, L is the length of the weld, E is the efficiency of the process, V is the voltage, I is the current, and small v is the welding speed. Now heat requirement is nothing but specific heat into the volume, where the volume of the weld bit or volume of the point where the welding is happening, that volume is given by U into AL, and the specific heat, U is equal to the specific heat, U is the specific heat. Now if we equate heat transfer, heat required is equal to heat input, that would give us V is equal to E into Vi by UA. Using this formula, in most of the cases we can calculate the velocity for welding. In most of the arc welding cases or in most of the fusion welding cases, we can very easily calculate in case of electrical fusion welding cases, we can calculate the heat input. Now we will be seeing some in-depth study about gas tungsten arc welding, plasma arc welding, and atomic hydrogen welding. These three things we will see. So in case of gas tungsten arc welding or tungsten inert gas welding, there is non-consumable tungsten electrode is used. Helium or argon inert shielding gas atmospheres are there. The filler materials, which may be, if necessary, they are supplied as wire or rod. there is no flux used in the filler material, and the constant arc gap, a constant arc gap is maintained in closed fit joint welding by TIG or TIG or tungsten inert gas welding. No filler material is used. And here, in case of welding of aluminum and magnesium, AC power source is preferred, as there is for AC power source there is cleaning action that would clean the oxidized layer that may form while the welding of aluminum and magnesium. So for the welding of aluminum, magnesium, titanium and other refractory materials mean those materials which are withstand to high temperature. This type of the material can be very easily welded by using TIG or tungsten inert gas method, and thin metal welding can be done by using this process. Fine surface finish, very fine surface finish can be achieved by this process. This is a typical schematic diagram of the tungsten inert gas welding. Here this blue color rod is our filler rod, and this connected with AC or DC supply. This is our connected to AC or DC supply. See here, connected to AC or DC supply. This is our inner tungsten electrode rod, which is placed, and this is argon and helium. This is our shielding gas, and this shielding gas and electrode rod in front of electrode rod, the shielding gas will come from a nozzle, and in that position the arc will be generated, and this arc that will be shielded in the blanket of argon and helium, and by melting the base material along with the filler rod, by using the heat from the heat that is generated in the arc, we can have our complete joint. So this is tungsten inert gas welding. Now we are coming about discussion of plasma arc welding. In case of plasma arc welding, a concentrated plasma arc is produced, and that is directed to the weld area, and the temperature of that plasma is up to 33,000 degrees Celsius. And this plasma, what is plasma? Plasma is hot ionized gas which is composed of nearly equal number of ions and electrons. So whenever the gas is composed of nearly equal number of ions and electrons, that is known as plasma. And plasma is initiated between the tungsten electrode and the small orifice by a low current pilot arc. So that means the plasma will be initiated by a small pilot arc, and after the initiation of the plasma, that pilot arc will be extinguished, and it is a low current process. This plasma arc welding is a very low current process. That current requirement is less than 100 ampere, and the filler material, if necessary, that filler material will be served or will be fed externally. And the types, there are two types of the plasma arc welding. First is transferred arc type. In case of transferred arc type, the workpiece, in case of transferred arc type plasma arc welding, the workpiece is the part of the electrical circuit, and the arc is transferred to the workpiece directly. And on the other hand, in the case of non-transferred arc type, the heat is transferred to the weld area by means of plasma gas, and shielding is done by shielding ring, which consists of helium or argon or the mixture of both. This plasma arc welding process, has very much stability, low thermal distortion, high energy concentration, and results in deep and narrow welding with higher welding speed. So that is it. That is about plasma arc welding. Now we will see the schematic diagram of the plasma arc welding, where in this figure we can see that the plasma will be generated by using a low current, by using a low current arc. And after the initiation of the plasma, the plasma gas and the shielding gas will be fed into the fed through the nozzle to the workpiece, and the arc will transfer the heat from the nozzle tip to the workpiece or to the weld pool, while the whole process will be shielded by helium or argon atmosphere, or that means inert atmosphere. So this is our plasma arc welding. Now we will see about atomic hydrogen welding. Atomic hydrogen welding, this welding depends upon the nature of hydrogen, that in the general condition or in the room temperature, hydrogen exists as H2 atom. It is a diatomic material. Now at the elevated temperature, this diatom, these two diatom or this H2 may break and may break by taking the heat from the surrounding. So and again, when these two H plus atom, when they add together, then a large amount of heat will be released, and this process, heat from this whole process is can be used for welding. How? So first what we do, first a small arc will be generated, and that arc is used to ignite the hydrogen only. So that arc will be generated by using two tungsten electrode that is in a shielding atmosphere of hydrogen. So when the arc will be generated, the diatomic hydrogen at above 600 degrees Celsius, 6000 degrees Celsius, that diatomic H2 component will be dissolved in 2H plus ions by absorbing heat from the arc. And whenever that heat is absorbed, after that, if the material is cooled, if the H2 atom, then these H2 atoms are traveled and poured into the workpiece where the welding is to be done. At that time, the workpiece surface is cold, and due to that cold surface, that H plus atoms come into normal temperature, and they become unstable. They came together and joined together by releasing the heat, and that heat is used for the joining of the material or for the fusion. So this is our atomic hydrogen. By changing the travel distance and amount, changing this travel distance, amount of heat that can be generated, that can be changed. So this is an example of atomic hydrogen. Here hydrogen shielding is done, and in these two by using these two tungsten electrode, arc will be generated in the hydrogen shielding atmosphere, and after that the exothermic reaction of fission, that means two atoms coming together releasing energy, this exothermic reaction will occur here, and by that we can get a new joint, or good strength joint can be possible in very low time. So atomic hydrogen welding is one of the leading application of the welding, and this welding has some great application in the real world also. So thank you. Hope you enjoy this lecture. In the next lecture, we will be talking about consumable electrode arc welding, and that lecture will be end of our arc welding part. Next, we will see about resistance welding and other welding topics. So, thank you for now. If you have any doubt, you may ask in the live class. Thank you.